Welcome, folks, to SCV In the Movies. I'm Bill West. My buddy E.J. Stevens, who's doing all the hard work today, is on this giant vehicular conveyance behind us. And we're about to get on this here bus and go explore SCV film ranches. Pretty cool, huh? So join us here on SCV In the Movies.
Backflips and yeah.
Howdy, folks. Here we are, Rancho Deluxe, part of the SCV In the Movies, SCV movie magic, and it happens right here. Right now you can see we're surrounded by little cabins, and these were used in the movie Bad Teacher. In fact, this one right here was supposed to be a blacksmith shop where Abraham Lincoln grew up. So look for that and come on along here on SCV In the Movies. So that log we were just focusing on there a couple of weeks ago had Jean-Claude Van Damme on it doing stunts for a movie they were shooting here. Steve Arklin, the guy that runs this place, said there were big cranes all around controlling the light, tons of people, all for that quick scene that probably took hours and hours to shoot. The creek that log goes over was used in the TV series Bones, among many other things, and for that series they actually had to fill it with live beaver for the shot. Across the way behind us there is a pond that they filled and turned into a muddy mess to represent a part of Iraq for the History Channel. All different parts of the world come together here in the SCV where the movie magic happens. So this house was used for a production, but it wasn't a house, it was just a wall. And then Steve Arklin, the guy that runs this place, after the production was done, decided to complete the remaining 3 walls and turn it into a house. And at the same time, he built that little windmill. Since then, it's become a very desirable property and it's used all the time here. Hey, look who I found! The guy that's too busy running this tour, so I've been doing all the talking, and apologies because he's a better speaker than what I is. But anyway, the whole ranch was a victim of the recent sand fire.
Yeah.
And amazingly, Steve and his crew saved every structure. But they didn't let things go to waste. When this place was burned to the ground, well, you tell it, EJ.
You tell it. You're better at it.
Now it's going to sound like I'm making it up. They built up a volcano and used the burned out area as a volcano scene. So
see, I'm glad you told that because I didn't know that. Really? Really?
It's true. That's true.
Wow. Okay.
I keep him around for his looks. Really, is the thing.
Well, no, this is really incredible because I don't know how much you can see. We can see the burnt tree back here, but behind us, it's still pretty desolate. Luckily, because of the rains that came later, it's greener than we ever see. But nothing comes in moderation, right? So when it rained here, it flooded down by the main area. You'll see it in a moment. Almost took out the bait shop.
Oh.
So we'll show you. We'll show you that. But this is really an incredible thing the Arklin family does for us, and I'm just amazed at how welcoming and just generous they are with their time and their property. Because this is not only where they work, this is their home. So it's just really amazing. These folks are incredible.
And I'll say, this guy's incredible. He's the guy that organizes all this. I get to just waltz in and chat.
I just beg.
He does all the hard work, including the serious begging.
I have no pride, so the begging comes easy.
And you viewers of our show probably recognize that we have no pride.
That's right.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon here on SCV In the Movies. Hi folks, welcome back. Be sure and check out our SCV In the Movies episode where we interview Steve Arklin and you can hear the whole story. It's great. Also, we have an episode featuring his brother Ryan Arklin. Check that out too, they're both amazing. But for those of you that haven't seen that yet, Steve Arklin's family, his father, started Santa Clarita Disposal, and there was their original office before they even thought about making this a movie ranch. And if you look over here, one of the original trash trucks, I think the first one that they ever used as part of Santa Clarita Disposal. And let me bring you back here to the office. You'll notice I love this. Santa Clarita Disposal, satisfaction guaranteed, or double your rubbish. I think that's great. Anyway, this then became their home. It was never intended to be a movie ranch. And in fact, if you look behind us here, they're studiers of martial arts, and this is their dojo where they work out. And all those belts represent the belts that Steve and his brother and his father have all attained in martial arts. But, of course, nothing goes to waste on a movie ranch, and they also use this for movie shoots. Anyway, part of the movie magic. Hey folks, EJ and I are pretty lucky because EJ goes to all the trouble to put on these tours, but we get some kind of famous guests tag along with us and we get to introduce you to them. And one of them is this fellow right here, Marc Wanamaker. You may recognize his name. He's co-authored quite a few books with EJ. He is a bona fide film historian, not a guy like me that kind of makes stuff up. He actually knows real stuff. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to ask him a few questions. If you could tell us about this place, Rancho Deluxe or Sable Ranch, or just whatever's on your mind.
Well, this is the Placerita Canyon area of the Santa Clarita and New Hall Saugus areas. And this was always famous for filmmaking going on in these canyons. Nearby is the Oak of the Golden Dream, which is where the first gold was discovered in this Southern California area. This is where gold was discovered, and also oil, which is known as the gold, black gold. But it's also film history here. And early on, we're talking the early teens, this is where Harry Carey, the famous silent star, Western star, Tom Mix, William S. Hart, they all came out here to Santa Clarita to get the flavor of the real Old West. And little by little, they set up their own little ranches here, and they were filming on their ranches, which led to, of course, other people coming and owning ranches in this area. Right in Placerita Canyon, the most famous ranch is the Disney Ranch. And the Disney Ranch was incredibly important for Disney films. And right up the road, pretty much not too far from that, was the famous Monogram Ranch, which later became known as the Melody Ranch of Gene Autry. So then we have smaller ranches, independent ones here. The Sable Ranch is right this property. And the Deluxe Ranch is part of this whole complex of little ranches that had little western towns. They had places where you could have a cabin, run your horses through here, and all this. This is the tradition and history of Santa Clarita and its movie history. William S. Hart set up his own home here, the William S. Hart Park. So you see, all of these connect to Hollywood. So many people say that Santa Clarita is really Northern Hollywood. Not North Hollywood, but Northern Hollywood, where they filmed and still are filming here on a regular basis.
Thank you, Marc Wanamaker, and thank you, folks. Welcome, folks, to what is known as Steve's fault, because Steve Arklin says everything that happens on this ranch is his fault. Well, I wouldn't call that a fault. I'd call that beautiful. That waterfall and rock work, You SCV In the Movies fans will recognize those rock formations that's made to look like Vasquez Rocks in Santa Clarita. And that water doesn't just end here. It flows down into this series of ponds. The smaller one is 35 feet deep and is used to breed smaller feeder fish. And then the larger one back there, they grow bass in there, and that one is 40 feet deep. Steve and his family are big into fishing, and so they decided to build ponds to support that. The fellows that built these ponds started at the bottom, had never done this sort of beautiful rock work before, and started building from the bottom up. When they started out, they didn't exactly know what they're doing, but by the time you get above water level, you can see they clearly knew what they were doing, to the point that they've been hired by the Walt Disney Company and Universal to work on theme park rock work, which is art unto itself. It's an amazing place, Rancho Deluxe, and this is just part of it. Santa Clarita has a lot of varied weather, as you all know. Not only do we have fires, but very recently we had a flood, and that brought down part of this mountain in the form of mud and filled up the upper pond up there. So once again, Steve got busy, went to do a bunch of hard labor and cleaned it all out. Now you can't even tell. Folks, we're here with the guy that runs this place, whose family owns this place, Mr. Steve Arklin, and he's going to talk about something behind him that's near and dear to his heart.
How's it going, everyone? So this little statue behind us here was carved about 20 years ago. So I'm the one on the far left that was probably about 10 years old. And it's a replica of me and my brothers and my dad just having fun down here around the lake. And as we go on, you'll see some more carvings made by the same guy. He's a really good artist. He actually filmed a show here, which was on Discovery Channel. It was Saw Dogs was the name of it. You got anything else?
Thank you, Steve. Folks, we'll take a look around now and see some of the other amazing carving work by the same folks that carved the little fishing scene that you just saw. Check this out. Check out this tree house and all the carvings around here. I bet you folks were wondering what the outside of the SCV In the Movies studio looks like. It's not like this. Not at all. No.
This is where the elves live.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're making cookies.
This is part of the wonderful set work and amazing carving work here at Rancho Deluxe. But we're calling it home. That's it. We're moving in.
We're moving in.
No problem. When you get fast and shot in there, bluegill.
Stop it.
No!
That's not gentlemanly. Oh. No, that wasn't hail, that was okay.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Oh, there's a replay, just in case you didn't enjoy it enough the first time. So welcome, folks, to Steve and his family's game room. Because wouldn't you have a game
I was
room?
gonna say, come on.
You got a movie ranch, you gotta have a game room.
Who didn't grow up with a game room or a pond with the world's largest largemouth bass?
Yes.
Or an Indian village, or a western town, or
A little tree house.
or a villa on top of the mountain.
And several houses on the property.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
And then time
Nothing.
to work out and play pool and ping pong.
Yeah, I don't know what all excitement about. So, yeah.
I,
Yeah.
wanted to. I just
Yeah.
haven't worked out the time. And you might notice in the middle of the room are a couple of guitars. Those
yes.
are owned by Ryan Arklin, Steve's brother, who is in a band and composes music here in this room.
And he also performs, I think he performs for the World Run that's in Santa Clarita
Wow.
in May. So
These overachievers.
this is just an amazing, yeah, this makes everyone look bad. Everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many zeros you have, with the commas and dollar signs and all. These people just know how to live.
Yeah.
And they do everything right. And they're so generous.
They are.
It's just amazing.
And it's this amazing work ethic they have to have built all this.
And to keep it up. I mean,
yeah.
if I had this in a month, it would be just in rubble.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
This is just
Time
amazing.
to bring in the bulldozer. But no, it's all just gorgeous.
It's just so amazing. But they're just the nicest family and so unbelievably welcoming and generous. And we just can't thank the Arklin family enough. This is 2 years in a row they've done this for us. We're just so glad that the place exists because it looked like it might not there for a while with the sand fire and then the floods. But these folks are amazingly just adept at doing everything, and so they were able to actually fight the fire themselves. I don't think Cal Fire was here. I think they had to do it themselves with a bunch of trucks, water trucks. And then later we were here, Kimi and I were here just after, actually during the floods, and they saved the bait shop. Who doesn't have a bait shop? Come on.
Well, sure.
Come
you gotta
on.
have if you're going to go fishing, you got to have a bait
exactly.
shop in your pond.
In your pond.
One of a couple.
Yeah. So yeah, we really want to thank the Arklin family for
And this
doing
has been an amazing experience because you go to a lot of movie ranches and like you said, it's rubble. It's just a mess. And then others that are nice are all roped off and you can't get near anything. Here you can walk right up to amazing artifacts and amazing pieces of film history here in Santa Clarita.
And the as we said earlier, the amazing thing is this is not just where they make their living. This is where they live. And these folks know how to live. So it's just been such a thrill to get to do this another time, and we just can't thank the Arklin family enough.
Thank you. I'll see you.
And thanks to your family and your
Yeah.
dad and everybody. So.
Can you see these?
All right, guys,
Special
I guess
homemade. They're what, 50 cents a piece?
Well, thank you for joining us at Rancho Deluxe.
What an amazing time, and thank you to our friend Steve Arklin who invited us here. Beautiful, amazing place, one of the gems of the Santa Clarita Valley.
And we'll see you again on SCV In the Movies.